Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. One of the most dangerous habits you can develop is the habit of seeking sympathy, of needing someone to feel sorry for you, to feel validated. Because here's the hard truth. Sympathy will not fix your problems. Sympathy won't get you out of debt. Sympathy won't make you strong. Sympathy won't heal the wounds in your soul. Sympathy will only feed your weakness. And before long, you'll start building an identity around your pain, your struggles, and your helplessness. You see, the world may feel sorry for you for a moment, but then it moves on. You will be left behind if you don't choose to rise up. Sympathy won't give you power, it gives you excuses. It teaches you to accept your limits instead of testing them. It puts you in the passenger seat of your own life. When you constantly seek sympathy, you're handing your power over to others. You're saying, I can't do it unless someone helps me. I can't move forward unless someone validates me. But you were not born to be weak. You were not born to be a victim. You were born to overcome. You were born to endure. You were born to rewrite the story. Stop begging for sympathy and start building your strength. Let your scars be your stories, not your excuses. Let your silence be your statement. Let your growth be your answer. You want people to notice you, then win in silence, grind in darkness, and walk in your power. When you succeed, you won't need to tell anyone how hard it was. They will feel it in the way you carry yourself. So no more poor me. No more posting your pain for validation. No more replaying old tragedies to get a pat on the back. You're not here for sympathy. You're here for transformation. You don't need pity. You need purpose. And it's time to find it. No one owes you understanding. No one owes you comfort. The world will not hand you healing. You have to work for it. Fight for it. Bleed for it. Life rewards effort, not emotion. The moment you stop identifying with your struggle and start aligning with your strength, your life begins to shift. You're not what hurt you. You are what you choose to become. If you're going through it, understand that pain has a purpose. And it's not to make others feel sorry for you. It's to build resilience inside of you. Let it fuel your growth, not your grief. Waiting for someone to come save you is a trap. You are the hero of your own story. Get up, start climbing. Become the solution you've been praying for. You want respect? Don't ask for it through your wounds. Command it with your will. Let people admire your fight, not your fall. Let them witness your rise, not your reasons. The moment you stop blaming others, the government, your past, your parents, your trauma, that's when healing begins. Take full ownership. That's where power lives. Speak less about your suffering. Speak more through your actions. Let your results scream. Let your discipline do the talking. The world listens when you stop complaining and start conquering. Let quotes be honest. Self-pity is one of the most destructive mental habits you can fall into. And the worst part is, it feels so justified. You've been hurt. You've been let down. Life didn't turn out the way you expected. So you sit with your pain, hoping someone will see it, understand it, and offer you a shoulder to lean on. But here's the brutal truth. Self-pity is a trap disguised as comfort. It feels warm at first, but it keeps you stuck. It locks you in a mental cage, where all you can do is replay the past instead of preparing for your future. And the longer you stay in that space, the more powerless you become. Sympathy may soothe your wounds, but it will never heal them. You don't need a pat on the back. You need a plan. You don't need someone to cry with you. You need the courage to stand back up and keep fighting. When you sit in self-pity, you surrender your power. You become addicted to attention rather than obsessed with transformation. You become a storyteller of misery, not a builder of destiny. You start to believe the lie that your pain defines you, and you accept it as your identity. But you were not born to be broken. You were born to overcome. You were born with greatness in your bones, with fire in your soul, and with purpose pumping through your veins. Self-pity doesn't just rob you of your time. It robs you of your potential. It delays your growth. It distracts your focus. It steals your fire. And if you don't kill it now, it will bury your dreams in a coffin made of what-ifs. And why me's? So how do you break free from the prison of self-pity? You stop justifying it. You stop nursing it like it's a wounded child. You stop needing others to feel sorry for you to feel seen. You rip the chains off by owning your story, completely, unapologetically, and without blame. You say to yourself, yes, life hurt me, but it didn't end me. You rise every single day with a mindset that says, I refuse to be defined by what broke me. I will be remembered for what I rebuilt. Every minute spent in self-pity is a minute stolen from your future. So use your pain, but don't worship it. Learn from your past, but don't live in it. Walk with your wounds, but don't beg for applause for carrying them. Be the one who healed in silence and returned in power. Be the one who no longer needs sympathy, because they discovered strength is the only medicine they needed all along. And when you feel yourself slipping back into that prison, remember this: no one is coming to save you, because the real you doesn't need saving. The real you is the rescuer. This is a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. Life owes you nothing. Not success, not happiness, not recognition, not love, not understanding. You can cry, scream, and complain all you want, but the world will keep spinning, and no one will press pause just because you're struggling. The universe doesn't hand out rewards based on how much you've suffered. It gives them to those who earn them through effort, resilience, and relentless commitment. Many people walk around with a sense of entitlement. They think because they've been through pain, they deserve comfort. Because they've worked hard for a few months, they deserve results. Because they've been overlooked before, they deserve to be noticed now. But the truth is, life doesn't care what you think you deserve. It responds only to what you work for, what you sacrifice for, and what you refuse to quit on. So stop waiting for handouts. Stop thinking someone will show up and fix your problems. Stop expecting sympathy to lead to success. The grind doesn't care how you feel. It only pays those who show up. You want success? Show up. You want freedom? Earn it. You want peace? Fight for it. Nobody's gonna give it to you just because you feel broken. This world is harsh. Yes. It's unfair. Yes. But that's not your excuse. That's your fuel. That's what makes your story powerful. When you stop feeling like a victim and start acting like a warrior, your life begins to shift. Don't waste time asking, why me? Start asking, what now? Don't cry because the road is hard. Walk it anyway, bleed if you have to, but keep moving forward. Because the moment you realize that life owes you nothing, you unlock the truth that you owe it to yourself to become more. So stop looking for fairness. Stop expecting the world to recognize your pain. Instead, become undeniable. Earn your place. Earn your respect. Earn your peace. Let your results silence every doubt. Let your work ethic destroy every excuse. And when people ask how you made it, you won't say, because life helped me. You'll say, because I stopped expecting anything, and I started earning everything. Your pain is real. Your wounds are valid. The heartbreak, the betrayal, the failure, the loneliness, they all happen. And yes, they left a mark. But just because something hurt you doesn't mean it defines you. You are not your trauma. You are not your past. You are not what went wrong. You are not what they did to you. You are not what broke you. You are not the echo of your suffering. You are the one who survived it. You are the one who is still standing. And that means you are so much more than what hurt you. Far too many people build their entire identity around their pain. They wear their wounds like a badge of honor, as if their brokenness gives them a sense of meaning. But here's the danger. When you start identifying with your pain, you stop striving for your potential. You start believing the lie that you'll always be damaged, always be the victim, always be stuck. And once you believe that, you'll settle for less. You'll shrink yourself. You'll sabotage your own progress just to stay close to the pain that has become familiar. But you have to wake up. You have to realize you are not your scars. You are the fire that walked through it and came out stronger. You are the mind that refused to quit. You are the soul that chose to heal instead of hate. Your identity is not in your suffering. It's in your resilience. It's in your fight. It's in your refusal to stay down. Don't let your pain be the headline of your life. Let it be a footnote in the story of your rise. Let it be the part that shows how far you've come, not what kept you down. Stop introducing yourself by your trauma. Stop leading your life with your wounds. Lead with your vision. Lead with your strength. Lead with the belief that you are being shaped, not shattered. And when the world tries to reduce you to what you went through, stand up tall and say, that happened to me, but it is not me. Because the moment you separate your identity from your pain, you take your power back. And when you take your power back, nothing can stop you. Let's be clear. If your life was always easy, your mindset would be weak. If everything went your way, you'd never develop discipline. If no one ever left you, betrayed you, or challenged you, you'd never learn strength, endurance, or self-control. Hardship is not punishment, it's preparation. Every difficult season, every sleepless night, every moment when you wanted to quit, but didn't, that was life forging something stronger inside you. That was your mind being tempered like steel in the fire of adversity. See, the toughest people you admire, they didn't get there by accident. They got there because they went through things that could have destroyed them, but instead those things refined them. They didn't sit in self-pity. They didn't cry for sympathy. They used the pain as fuel. They learned to control their thoughts. They trained their emotions. They developed a bulletproof mindset, not in comfort, but in chaos. When times are hard, the weak complain, but the strong build character. When times are uncertain, the weak look for rescue, but the strong look within. When everything falls apart, the weak break down, but the strong break through. Why? Because their mind is built for battle. Their mindset is not dependent on motivation. It's driven by mission. So don't resent the struggle. Respect it. Don't try to avoid the pain. Learn from it, because every hardship is a test. And if you pass it, your mind becomes sharper. Your perspective becomes clearer. Your will becomes unshakable. That's how warriors are made. Not in comfort, but in the chaos they learn to conquer. So next time you face something that feels unbearable, remind yourself, this is not where I break. This is where I build. This is how I grow. This is how I become the version of myself that no longer begs for sympathy, but walks in strength. The world doesn't need more people who fall apart. It needs more people who can stand firm when everything else is falling. Be that person. Let the pain make you powerful. Let the storms make you steady. Because tough times don't last, but tough minds do. That no one is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not society, not a lucky break, and definitely not sympathy. If you're sitting around, hoping someone will notice your struggle and step in to pull you out, you're wasting precious time. You are the rescue. You are the help you've been waiting for. The day you stop expecting someone else to change your life and start taking full ownership, that's the day everything shifts. There's a silent trap in relying on others to lift you. It feels comforting. It feels safe. But it slowly robs you of your independence, your confidence, your strength. When you count on people to fix your problems, you're giving them power over your future. You're saying, I can't do it unless someone else steps in. That mindset will keep you small. That mindset will leave you stranded the moment no one answers your call. But guess what? You were born equipped. You already have what it takes. Your job isn't to wait, it's to awaken. Your rescue begins when you say, I'm done depending. I'm done hoping. I'm done begging. I'm done waiting for someone to see my worth. I'll see it for myself and move accordingly. Take your pain, take your disappointment, take your failures, and build something with them. Build new habits, build new standards, build new results. Start small if you have to, but start. Read the books, hit the gym, start the business, learn the skill, change your circle, face your past, set new boundaries. No one is going to do it for you, but that's not a tragedy. That's a blessing, because once you realize that you hold the keys to your own freedom, no one can ever lock you in again. So be your own rescue, be your own reason, be your own motivation, be your own miracle. Your life is not waiting for a savior. It's waiting for you to step into the role of your own hero. Let's get one thing clear. People don't respect complaints. They respect character. They don't admire those who beg for attention. They admire those who demand attention through their discipline, their silence, and their results. If you're chasing sympathy to earn respect, You're building your worth on a fragile foundation. Pity may bring you momentary attention, but it will never bring you lasting honor. When you constantly share your struggles, in hopes that people will feel for you, you're giving away your power. You're placing your value in someone else's emotional reaction. But real respect isn't given to the loudest pain. It's given to the quietest grind. It's earned in the way you show up, even when everything is going wrong. It's earned in the way you stay disciplined when no one is watching. It's earned when you choose to improve yourself instead of impress others. You don't need to explain your situation. You don't need to beg people to understand your suffering. Walk into a room with undeniable self-worth, not emotional debt. Let your focus speak louder than your frustration. Let your results speak louder than your reasons. Let your transformation silence every question about your pain. Respect is not something you cry for. It's something you build. You build it by showing the world that you don't need validation to grow. You build it by rising from your worst seasons without bitterness in your heart. You build it by standing tall in silence while others talk loudly about their misery. Because when you carry yourself with quiet strength, people can't help but respect your presence, even when they don't know your past. So stop seeking pity. Start earning power. Let them respect your silence, your strength, your self-control, your standards, and your success. Because real power doesn't beg for applause. It earns it through action. Blame is easy. It's the most convenient exit from responsibility. It gives you a target, someone to point at, someone to hate, someone to hold accountable for all the ways your life didn't go right. But here's the truth. Most people avoid. As long as you're blaming others, you're giving them control over your healing. You're saying, I can't move on because of what they did. That's not power. That's paralysis. Yes, you were hurt. Yes, some people betrayed you. Yes, life was unfair. But if you keep carrying that weight and using it as a crutch, you will never be free. Blame keeps you tied to the past. It chains you to a moment you should have already walked away from. And worst of all, it gives your pain a permanent address in your mind. True healing doesn't begin when others apologize. It doesn't begin when the world acknowledges your suffering. It begins the moment you say, I'm not waiting on anyone else to make this right. I'm taking my power back. That's when the shift happens. That's when your heart starts to open again. That's when the darkness begins to lift. Because now you're no longer a prisoner to what happened. You're the architect of what comes next. Blame says, it's their fault I'm broken. Healing says, it's my responsibility to rebuild. And guess what? The longer you hold on to blame, the longer your pain holds on to you. Let it go. Not for them, but for you. Not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve freedom. When you stop blaming, you start becoming. You start learning, growing, evolving. You start focusing on the future instead of repeating the past. That's the mindset of a warrior. That's the mindset of someone who no longer begs for sympathy because they found their strength in radical responsibility. In a world where everyone is shouting their pain, oversharing their trauma, and constantly fishing for validation, silence has become a superpower. Not because you're hiding what you've been through, but because you've mastered it. You don't need to broadcast your wounds to prove your worth. You don't need to cry out for sympathy to feel significant. You carry your past, yes, but you don't let it carry you. You've learned that silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. When you choose silence over sympathy, you're not suppressing your pain, you're taking control of it. You're choosing to grow in private. You're choosing to let your success speak for you. And when you walk into a room, people don't feel sorry for you. They feel your energy, your growth, your unshakable presence. They may not know your story, but they can feel your strength. There is a quiet kind of power that only those who've healed without applause understand. It's in your calm. It's in your self-discipline. It's in your ability to keep moving without needing to explain yourself to anyone. And that power, it intimidates the world far more than your tears ever could. Sympathy fades fast. One moment of emotional attention will not build your life. But silence. Silence builds focus. Silence builds strategy. Silence gives you the space to transform, while others are still talking about what hurt them. Let them talk. Let them post. Let them beg for validation. You move in silence, and let the outcome make the noise. So walk quietly with heavy footsteps. Let your silence be your testimony. Let your strength be your voice. Because in a world craving sympathy, you become unstoppable the moment you no longer need it. So now you know. Now you see the truth. The world doesn't need another person begging for sympathy. It needs someone who rises in silence, heals in the shadows, and walks with quiet power. You don't have time to cry out for understanding from people who can't even understand themselves. You don't need likes, shares, or messages saying, "I'm so sorry for what you've been through." You need results. You need strength. You need resolve. Because sympathy might feel good in the moment, but it keeps you small. It keeps you dependent. It keeps you tied to the pain you were born to outgrow. You were not made to beg for validation. You were made to walk like a warrior. You were made to stare your past in the face and say, "Thank you for the pain. It made me unbreakable." You were made to stop explaining yourself and start evolving. Stop chasing attention and start chasing greatness. You are not the story of what went wrong. You are the comeback. You are the shift. You are the reason the cycle ends and the legacy begins. So cut the need for sympathy. Let go of the pity. The world isn't moved by people who suffer out loud. It's moved by people who rise in silence and dominate without a sound. Let your pain sharpen your vision. Let your disappointments deepen your drive. Let your quiet strength become louder than any scream for help. Walk into every room like the battle is already won. Look in the mirror and see the one who didn't wait to be saved, because they became the one who did the saving. Enough waiting, enough weeping, enough wondering. Who's coming to fix it? No one is. You are. You are the answer. You are the shift. You are the fire. You are the force. You are the one they never saw coming, because they were too busy feeling sorry for you, while you were too busy building yourself in silence. And one day soon, when you walk into your purpose with unshakable confidence and undeniable results, the same people who ignored your struggle will have no choice but to respect your rise. Not because you begged them to, but because you stopped begging entirely. No more tears for attention. No more sadness as identity. No more sympathy cravings. From this day forward, you live by a new rule. You don't want pity. You want power. You don't need sympathy. You are strength. And nothing can stop the one who no longer seeks it. Stop needing sympathy. Stop living in the shadows of who hurt you, what broke you, and why it all went wrong. Stop explaining your wounds to people who never bled with you. Stop hoping someone will notice your silent cries, your hidden scars, your daily battles, because the brutal truth is, most won't. Most will scroll past your pain like it's another story. Most will listen only long enough to talk about themselves. Most will forget what you said 5 minutes after you said it. But you won't forget the pain. You won't forget the nights you stayed awake asking, "Why me?" You won't forget how heavy it felt to carry a life that no one else saw collapsing inside you. But from this moment on, let that pain serve you. Let it build you. Let it become the steel in your spine and the fire in your blood. No more waiting. No more hoping. No more surviving off crumbs of sympathy and half-hearted pity. Stand up. Rise up. Speak to yourself with a voice louder than all the doubts they planted in you. Tell yourself, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. I am not someone to feel sorry for. I am someone to be feared, because I no longer need anyone to save me." This is your awakening. This is the moment you bury the weaker version of yourself that begged for attention. This is the moment you stop feeding the world your trauma and start feeding your soul with discipline, drive, and direction. No more telling your sad story for likes. No more romanticizing your suffering. No more building your identity around being broken. Let your silence become sacred. Let your actions become the loudest thing about you. Show them that the one they ignored has now become the one they can't forget. Show them that the one who cried alone now walks like royalty. Show them that the one they once pitied has turned pain into power, heartbreak into hunger, wounds into wisdom. You owe no one an explanation for how you healed. You owe no one a story that justifies your success. Let them think you vanished, when really you were evolving. You were training. You were mastering your mind. You were becoming your own rescue, your own revolution, your own rebirth. And when they finally see you again, they won't recognize you. Not because you changed everything about yourself, but because you finally became everything they never expected. Strong, silent, sharp, unshakable. The days of needing comfort are over. You don't want comfort. You want conquest. You don't want empathy. You want excellence. You don't want a shoulder to cry on. You want a legacy to die for. You don't want someone to listen to your pain. You want to speak through your progress. You want your results to echo louder than your wounds ever did. You want your life to become proof that you didn't need sympathy. You needed strategy, self-control, and savage discipline. You needed long nights. You needed discomfort. You needed silence. You needed all the rejection, all the abandonment, all the failure. Because without it, you would have never found the deepest parts of your strength. Look at you now, still here, still breathing, still walking forward when others gave up, still climbing when no one offered a hand, still fighting when everyone told you to stay down. That's not weakness. That's not a sob story. That's warrior blood. That's the spirit of someone who refuses to stay small. So let the world keep searching for sympathy. You've moved beyond that now. You don't need someone to feel bad for you. You need someone to see what you've become. And even if they don't, it changes nothing. Because the respect you need is the one you give yourself when you look in the mirror and say, no matter who doubted me, abandoned me, or broke me, I didn't quit. I didn't fold. I didn't beg. I built. I became. I believed in something deeper than comfort. You believed in the quiet process. You believed in the power of not telling your next move. You believed in yourself when sympathy was no longer enough. And that belief, that's what made you. So carry your scars with pride. But never again wear your suffering like identity. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not begging. You are building. You are not weak. You are woke. You are not looking for sympathy. You are the storm they'll never be ready for. This is your time. This is your season. And from this day forward, walk like the world owes you nothing, and you owe yourself everything. Walk like a force. Walk like fire. Walk like silence that shakes the earth. Because you are no longer the person who waits for sympathy. You are the person who commands respect without ever asking for it. Thank you.